everybody? Okay. That's good. Okay, so as we discussed last class, many of you spoke about different programs that focus on hunger and feeding people in the United States that need that kind of support. So, you already know the statistics. It's obviously a very big issue in this country, and I'm here to talk about another group that helps that. So this group is called the Conscious Alliance. It's a group out of Boulder, Colorado. It was established in 2005. And so basically, what they distribute much needed food to low-income families as well as communities across the United States. And they also look for long-term solutions involving like education and just kind of sustainable agriculture programs and education throughout. So they accomplish these goals by hosting like nonprofit art sales and donation drives at music festivals and shows and everything like that. It's called an Art That Feeds program. So since its founding since the Art That Feeds program was founding in 2002, it's hosted several hundred food drives and get music fests like Bonnaroo and Wakarusa and Power to Be Peaceful, and then concerts with big names like Dave Matthews Band and Jack Johnson and String Cheese and Fish and stuff like that. So through their music programs and their partnership with community or companies like Whole Foods and but Conscious Alliance has distributed and gathered over 1.6 million meals over the course of their history, and in my opinion, like one of the most impressive projects that they've done has been so they went down into Pine Ridge Reservation down in like South Dakota, and that was back in 2005 when they started that, and they built and stocked a food bank, and so I don't know. Pine Ridge is one of the most like economically isolated and just impoverished reservations in the entire nation. So they really needed these supplies, and since since it was built in 2005, it's remained permanently stocked to capacity just from the generosity of donors. And as I touched on earlier, they also do the same sustainable education programs and everything like that. So what they did with Pine Ridge is they built a community garden, and this was just earlier this year actually. It's a community garden and an outdoor learning center on Pine Ridge, and basically, because of the low income that they have in Pine Ridge, pretty much all the food that they can afford is all, cheap. So, it's a lot of saturated fats, a lot of salts and everything like that, and because of that, Pine Ridge has a, it's a diabetic rate of 800% higher than the rest of the nation. So what this garden helps do is it generates food for the community. B, it educates people about self-reliance and sustainability and health and everything like that. So yeah, and I think another incredible aspect of the Art That Feeds is that it helps young artists kind of like make a name for themselves. They accept applications and art samples and everything like that for their shows that they do. And it's a good way for like young artists to get their art out there into the eye of the public, maybe pursue their career in art, which is a very difficult thing to do nowadays. So yeah, I don't know. I think that the medium of like using music and artistic template for like hosting a charity is absolutely brilliant. Because I don't know, okay, so, so many people approach you on the street trying to get donations for something like that, or there's all these issues in modern day society, and it's kind of like, it's difficult to know which one to choose, so therefore it's really easy to just blow them off, there's just too many, So if you take a template like art or music or, a little bit of everything, you can really, get people on board with something that they would already be doing. And then utilize that template to actually do something actively constructive for society, So, yeah. And, I don't know, so if you guys want to participate, On September 27th at the Fillmore Auditorium, Big Gigantic is a jazz kind of electronic band kind of stuff, and it's they're playing that night, and it's a benefit for Conscious Alliance. And if you like good music or want to help things out or whatever, come on along. And I brought along a poster. Speaking of posters, that's another thing about the Big Gigantic show. You get a free poster with a canned donation. So that's cool. But yeah, this took place early last year. It featured the psychedelic artists Allison and Alex Gray, which I'm sure some of you have heard of, and then Yodo. And yeah, it was a fantastic show, and we got a lot done. You know, I was sitting at the tables getting donations from people, selling hats and art and things like that. And it was a fantastic time. So yeah, thank you guys.